Hello, I'm Isaac Hernandez.
And I'm Holly McClure.
And this is Faith on Film, a program designed to keep you informed on everything that's happening in the world of faith and family entertainment. Holly, welcome back.
Thank you. I know. I kind of missed out on a couple of these, didn't I?
You have. And I got to tell you,
yes.
I don't like flying solo anymore. I got spoiled.
I missed being with Alex and Stephen Kendrick, but that was a great interview. I love
that. I definitely wish you would have been here for that, but I know you suddenly got called on a special assignment, and so I had to fly solo, but I did the best I could.
Well, for those of you who haven't seen that interview, you should go to Faith on Film TV on YouTube or wherever you watch us and go see that and check it out. It's a great show. And they've got an amazing film coming up. So we'll have more to talk about that in September.
Yes, they do. And you know what? We have a lot of great shows coming up, actually. We're going to do a whole series, actually, on The Chosen, because that's one of the things that you've been doing that's kept you so busy. Also, you went to the new studios of The Chosen, didn't you?
That's right, I did, and we'll be talking about that more later in the show today. Got some interesting information for you. You don't want to miss out. But we've also got a special guest that kind of has something to do with The Chosen, because he actually has been on the place where the first season 1 and part of 3 was filmed. So why don't you introduce our guest?
Sure. Well, Tim Shields is the founder of CMA's Content Conferences. He's been the co-director of Christian Media Conferences for many years. He has made the mantle. He has the mantle of media on his life. We're going to have to find out exactly what that means. He is passionate about Jesus, his faith, his family, and has been in pastoral work for many years. Tim, welcome to Faith on Film, my friend.
Thank you very much, Isaac, Holly. God bless you. Nice to be here.
Well, first thing is maybe you can explain to us it says here that you were a pastor. Does that mean, but it says you were in pastoral work. What does that mean? Did you have a church, or how did you even get started in media? How did you go from pastoring? I'm already asking too many questions. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, it's all good. That's great, Isaac. No worries. What I did was that many years ago, my pastor came to me and said, "Hey, we'd love for you to lead up our TV ministry." And I had no background in TV or media at the time. And so I agreed, and the rest is history. That was 38 years ago. And media has just followed me wherever I go. And so the doors open up for me just because the Lord's mantle is on my life to work in the area of media. Now, as far as pastoral, I did go to Bible school and graduated from Bible school. And then just in the course of time became part of the pastoral staff of a couple of churches. Then I was an associate pastor, children's pastor, evangelism pastor, outreach pastor. And then I was a senior pastor of a church for a couple of years, and just have filled different pastoral roles. I love it, enjoy it. It's just the love of my life to do that. And I've mixed the media mantle and the pastoral mantle together. And now, you know, what I do for a living partly is that I lead up and plan. I'm the chief servant for the Content Media Conferences. And also at Capernaum Studios, the pastor and the HR manager. So those two kind of work together hand in hand.
I see. Do you ever feel like you may want to just go back to actually pastoring a church?
Oh, I would love to. If somebody offered me to, I might take it.
But actually,
don't offer it to me. I might take it.
You actually get to pastor, though, people, in a way. I mean, you have a ministry with Christian film and media, don't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it is true. I love being part of the pastoral, of course, the Capernaum staff, where I'm the pastor on staff there. And it's just a pleasure and a joy. And yes, you do. You get to help people, counsel them, advise them, pray for them, teach them. It's wonderful. It's just great being alive and doing the work of the Lord.
You know, I also am or have been a pastor at a church. And to be honest with you, I never wanted to do that. I never wanted to be a pastor. It wasn't my calling, I felt. But especially because I always felt pastors, well, their thing was to preach. And I'm like, I'm not a preacher. I can't do that. But now I've embraced it because I kind of mixed, just like you did, I mixed media and pastoring together. Because if there's one area that people in the film industry need is well, two areas really. They need a lot of encouragement and they need a lot of protection. And I feel like those two parts of a pastoral personality is at least what I get mostly involved with. I don't teach, unlike you. I just encourage people.
Oh, that's good. That's good, Isaac.
So now, tell us a little bit about, I mentioned that, of course, you were the co-director of the Christian Media Conferences, and every year I've attended, I think, all but one of your conferences. In this case, it'll be Conference 2022. And by the way, if you're watching this program after September 15th, of course, it'll already be passed, but you still want to know all about it because there's another one next year that will be Content 23. But tell us a little bit about Content 2022, or really the content conferences, and why you started those, and what can people expect?
Yeah, sure. We started them years ago. We have been doing a lot of small conferences in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I say conferences, actually a lot of small meetings. We'd have 50, 75, 100 people on average on a Monday night. We did that for several years, just gathering filmmakers, those in the industry, television, communicators. And there was no charge for it. We just gathered them in the evening at a facility, and we all networked. And so many people showed up that after several years, we decided that maybe we should pray about making this into a conference. And so it wasn't our focus to be a national conference at the time, but it was a focus to help the Dallas-Fort Worth area and the surrounding areas and the area of media. And so we started in 2014, and it's just grown. And as far as to being a national conference, and we're so excited about it and happy about it. Now, what it does is that what it addresses is just all the areas of filmmaking, from filmmaking 101 to screenwriting to directing and producing, marketing, distributing, and acting. So we'll have all those people attend. Also, even young filmmakers that are just beginning. So it's just an amazing place to come, because what we do is we build our conferences on three things. We build them on building community. So we're really big on building community. If we're not building community, then we scrap whatever session or format we did have, and we're going to find out how we're going to build community. We want everyone who attends to leave with a family. And so then secondly, we want there to be a spiritual explosion in somebody's life. We want them to really encounter and hear from the Lord with their media projects. And that's just really big. Whenever you're doing media, you've got to hear from the Lord. And number three, we want to give people a promotion and exposure. So we're doing our best to help people, catapult them into the future. And, we have in 2021 and 2022, we've had 2 conferences per year, one every 6 months. So close to 1,000 people, or over 1,000 people have attended because that's 4 conferences, including the one here in a couple of weeks. And so that's what we've been doing, bro.
Wow.
Has it been, is this a conference for just people who've already made a movie and are already in the business to just further find distributorships, or are this for people that haven't even done a movie, but they're thinking about it? Is this encompassing everyone? Yeah,
thanks for the question, Holly. That's a great question. It is for everyone. We have a special young filmmakers track and a special beginners filmmakers track that's going on. It is for those who are thinking about making a movie or short film or documentary or trailer or music video or sizzle reel or an actor's demo reel. This is for actors and screenwriters and producers, directors, beginners, intermediate, and advanced. If you attend, you'll be able to meet people in the industry that have been there for many years, and you'll meet people that are just beginning.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was also going to say it's interesting that you can be at Capernaum, because they get to come to an actual movie studio and see an actual movie studio and how it operates and how it runs while they're at the conference, which most people, who are just getting in the business haven't really ever done that.
Oh, that's absolutely. That's why we have them at Capernaum Studios. This is our 6th one at Capernaum Studios since 2018. We just feel that if people get away, come to Capernaum Studios, which is on a large ranch. And so we have 40 acres there, our studios, and it feels like a getaway. And many people, when they come on the grounds, say they sense the Spirit of God, the presence of God there. And it is exciting. If you're a filmmaker and you're one to get inspired, then I would say come to our content conferences, especially when we have them at Capernaum Studios, because you'll be able to see all the sets, you'll be inspired, and you'll be able to really hear from the Lord, because that's the environment that we have formatted the conference in. So it's special. It's a very special holiday to be at Capernaum Studios. Matter of fact, if anybody wants to do a short film or feature or doc at Capernaum Studios, they should go to capernaumstudios.com. They're great people to work with, amazing people, and they love Jesus.
Now, Tim, would you say that maybe somebody who's not involved necessarily as a film producer, director, writer, actor, but maybe is interested in the whole concept of Christian filmmaking and perhaps even just wants to get to know people that are involved in it, would they benefit from coming to this conference as well?
Yeah, they would, because sometimes, when we want to get into filmmaking, we're not sure of what area we want to get involved in. We might say, well, we want to make a movie, or we want to do a documentary, we want to do a short film, but we're not sure if we're the producer, we're not sure if we're the director, we're not sure if we're the screenwriter, we're not sure if we're just the person that's cheering them on, maybe even the pastor that try to just get them together and encourage them. So sometimes you got to get your feet wet, come to this conference or other conferences, and then go to some of the classes, maybe even be on set for some of the films being done, so you understand where you fit, what's best for you, what you feel will be right for you. And so that's a good question, Isaac.
I was going to say, I also heard that you guys are going to have a pitch fest so that people can actually pitch their projects in hopes of getting it picked up or distributed on a network or by distributor or someone like that, which again, that's a great asset when you have something like a conference like that where people can actually pitch their work.
Absolutely. We do have Pitchathon on Thursday in the afternoon to several networks. And also, not only Pitch Fest, but we also have a thing where you pitch to be a guest on a show. So the Pitch Fest to pitch your completed content is called Pitchathon. And the Pitch Fest where you are pitching to be a guest on the show is called Catalyst. So if you go to our website, christianmediaconference.com, and then go under program and click on Pitchathon or Catalyst, you'll be able to check out those things.
Now, Tim, there's a challenge that I want to throw out right now, because if there's one thing that I have noticed at not only content conferences, but really a lot of the conferences that I go to, is that there's very little involvement or attendance from church ministries. I don't see pastors there. I don't see church media people there. I see a lot of, independent filmmakers. But I did invite a media pastor on the last content conference that you held. And he pointed that out, and he was amazed, And I'm thinking, we need to challenge the churches out there that they really should also send their media people to learn more and to connect more. Am I off on that?
No, not at all. Actually, believe it or not, the first many years of our ministry, from 1992 to about 2005, we produced content. We sold it to thousands of churches nationwide, because churches just weren't doing that. And we taught them through an association and through a publication how to use media in their churches. And but I think you're right, Isaac. I think that has been a concern of mine also. There has been a dampering of that because of COVID. When COVID hit, a lot of the churches just held back. And so, but for us, for 2023, we got some great announcements coming up. We're going to catapult and try to get as many churches as we can involved in media. So we are going to focus on that for our next conference in 2023 to help expand that. It's a good point. That's
great to hear.
One of the probably more famous people who was in a church and in their entertainment or church film, department of the church, who then came out of it, is Dallas Jenkins, who is now directing The Chosen. He was in a church ministry. He actually had a career before that. went into the church, made a film, but really helped them raise up their level of film production. So you never know who's going to be birthed coming out of churches and what great things they're going to do.
Well, that's true. That's so true, Holly, because he did create the shepherd out of that church. And then out of that small, I guess, series there, or that short film he had done, was birthed the chosen.
That's right.
And he would have never known. It just would. I'm pretty sure Dallas would tell you that he did not think that was going to happen, and it did, and it just took off.
And speaking of, people that come to the conference will be able to be on the chosen set where season 1 was filmed, won't they?
Absolutely. I've been there so many times, and I'll be going there again today because that's where I work. I do work at Capernaum Studios on staff. And yes, season 1 was filmed there. And parts of season 2 and many parts of season 3.
And so people will be able to visit and go, and you're going to actually have some surprise fun things going on in the village itself.
Yes, in the Capernaum Village set where the Chosen filmed a lot of their scenes for season 1. Absolutely. You'll be able to take pictures by the iconic Matthew tax collector's office and many of the other places. It's great to be there. It really is.
Isaac, if you let me just real quickly, while I'm thinking of it, Tim, I think one of the unique things about where you work is that the CEO and founder, Tammy Lane, a woman founded this movie studio, Capernaum Studios, and she runs it, and it produces and directs her own film. If that's not an inspiration to women wanting to attend this conference, to see a living example of a woman who not only is producing and directing her own things, but literally started a movie studio, and I looked it up, and this is ironic. There's one other woman that I can find in the U.S. who owns a studio, and her name is Tammy. And she lives in Georgia, and she's got $135 million. She's an African-American woman there, but they're both named Tammy. What are the odds of that?
Wow.
But I mean, that's an example you've got right there at Capernaum of a woman who's doing it all. So, I think that should be inspirational for women thinking about coming to this conference and, what can I do? Well, there's a lot.
Absolutely. They could come, they could meet Tammy and talk to Tammy about how she got started and be inspired by her. So she'll be there. And she'll want to meet anybody who wants to come. And I do believe her story is very inspirational, and it's a great role model.
That's great. That's wonderful. Well, Tim, again, if people want to learn more about not only this one, but again, if they're seeing the program next year, because that's the thing, is this program lives on forever. Where would they go to get more information?
Sure. They just go to our website, ChristianMediaConference.com. Again, that's ChristianMediaConference.com, and the buttons should be right there. I don't know when they'll be watching this, but it should be it'll work. It'll be easy to understand the program and what we have to offer. So that's where they need to go. And if they have any questions, you just hit on the contact button and we'll answer them right away.
Excellent.
And Isaac, you're going to be there too, right?
I sure am. In fact, Tim never mentioned that, there was going to be a great worship time there.
That's true. There is. A great worship leader is Isaac. Boy, he is great. Wow.
If you can't imagine Isaac worshiping, well, go to this conference and you'll have a chance to participate and see him at his best. It's amazing, isn't it?
That is so true. So, well, good. Tim, I know that you've been very busy putting this conference together, and in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be even busier. But I do appreciate you taking a little time to just come and share it with us, all right?
Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thanks, Tim.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thanks, Holly. Okay, bye-bye.
There will be more Faith on Film coming up.
Are you okay with people knowing that you're adopted?
Yes. Mostly. Not really.
Do you remember asking to see that when you were about 8 years old?
How old were they?
I think she was 18, and he was 17.
I honestly had no idea that this many people were wanting to adopt.
Imagine how scared she must have been. She was pregnant when she graduated, and then the decision to place you for adoption.
God, if you're there, please protect him and watch over him.
There's a birth mother on the line with a question for you. It must have been the hardest decision of her entire life.
Hello?
But she loved you, and I'm so glad that she made the choice that she did.
I've always wondered if my biological parents think about me.
Today's David's 18th birthday.
You want to talk to him?
I don't think he'd want to talk to me.
There's only one way to find out.
I guess maybe I didn't want to feel different.
You didn't want to be an idiot.
I didn't want to be different.
Okay, good. That's a lot better.
God gave you to me and Mom as a gift, and you will always be our son.
Is that your birth mom?
She wants to meet.
Really? This is huge! Hey, what's up, Emily? How's it going?
That's Elizabeth.
Welcome back. What you just saw, of course, was the trailer to Lifemark, a movie that will be releasing in theaters September 9th. If you want to know more about it, just go to lifemarkmovie.com. That's lifemarkmovie.com. Holly, you missed that interview.
I'm officially bummed. I'm really, I'll use the old phrase we used to use, I'm bummed out.
Yeah,
I can't
exactly.
believe I missed that interview. I'm so sad because that was actually, I love those guys. I love those guys. I'll never forget, Alex coming up to me at NRB and going, I have a small little film I want you to see. Can you have Paul Cart Jr. watch it? And, Facing the Giants, small little film. Anyway, so I've been their biggest fan since day one. But I'll tell you, another thing I'm a big fan of is the Chosen series.
And you see, you missed being with the Kendricks, but you were not exactly out suffering for Jesus, were you?
Got a chance to go I was this close to meeting Jesus, this close, this close. But Jesus had to go to Rome. He had an event there in Rome.
Rome. So
yeah.
Tell us, what were you doing there?
Well, they had, I represented Faith on Film, and we got a chance to go see in Midlothian, Texas, and that's south of Dallas. And they're on this property that is an amazing property. It is a ranch for the Salvation Army, and I think it is the Salvation Army camp is what it is, sorry. And during COVID, they had nobody come to their camp. And so they were about to go up under. Well, Dallas and Chad Gunderson and several of the partners found this property, and it is an amazing site with a lake, and they have built literally Capernaum there, Jerusalem there. They have a temple. So they invited us to go as press to tour the set to see what's coming because, drum roll, and I'll have more on this later, they are going to launch season 3 in a movie theater on November the 18th, episodes 1 and 2. And this is huge because for those of you who are like, I just can't get my family to watch The Chosen. I just can't get my friends to watch it. I just can't get them. Well, you'll take them to a movie theater now and they'll be able to watch 2 hours. And the feeding of the 5,000, which actually they had 12,000 people over 4 days come to the feeding. So the feeding of the 12,000 is what took place. 12,000. Which Dallas officially said was the hardest thing he's ever done. So I got to go as press representing Faith on Film. We got to tour. We got to the whole facilities. I got my own camera guy following me. So I'm going to have amazing footage for us to see. You're going to get a first look at the actual studio. And you're also going to see where they have the new temple. And they explain about how the temple's being built, what's with that. They have the Garden of Gethsemane. They're putting in olive trees in this garden to have a whole Garden of Gethsemane. They replicated the village from Capernaum Studios, where they filmed part of season 1 and 3. They took that and put that over on their set so that they could still continue some of the houses and places and things that happen. Anyway, it is going to blow your mind. It is amazing, a gorgeous set. And what I was encouraged to find out was how amazing and friendly all the actors. I got to meet Mary Magdalene, for those of you who don't know the names, but Liz Tabush, plays Mary Magdalene, and several of the other actors got to interview them. And they have such sweethearts there, and it's such an amazing place. And the question I found interesting most was, is there going to be anything beyond? I mean, we all know how it ends, right? The New Testament. We kind of know how it ends with Jesus, and we know the end of that story.
It's sort of like Titanic, right? We knew how that was going to end.
We already know how this is going to end. It's not going to end well. Well, at first it doesn't, and then it does. And so I asked the writers, the two guys that were writers, which is the season you're most concerned about or worry about? And one of them said season 6, the crucifixion, and one said season 7, afterwards, and what happens after the grave. So it's going to be interesting to see how those are handled. But interesting news also, it's going to go beyond The Chosen. They're going to do something for children. They have other projects and ideas in mind. So for those of you who are big fans, you've got several more years to come even after the Chosen series, because they're not going to stop there. They have more planned. Well,
and technically, the story didn't end there. The story, in essence, really began there, didn't it? It began at the crucifixion. Because the story is about the chosen. So it's really about those people that followed him and took his message and really, took it to the ends of the earth. So, I can see how there can be a whole lot more still, because a lot happened. If you read the book of Acts, a lot happened after the crucifixion, didn't it?
Well, it did. And, Jesus appeared to the 500 plus, as well as Peter, the disciples. I mean, we all know that after the grave, that's where he gave Peter a chance to, when Peter denied him 3 times, he gave chance for Peter to say, I love you, Lord, 3 times, and renounce that. So there is a lot of things that happen. So that'll be probably season 7, pretty sure. Excellent. And then, like I said, as for children, and I love that their heart is to minister to the younger generation. They're really passionate about reaching the Gen Zers and the young generation who won't go to church, haven't gone to church, don't know the Bible, don't know the Word. And that's my heart too, and I know it's yours too as well.
Yes. Well, it's exciting that we're going to actually do several shows, because you've got so much material we cannot possibly cover it in one show. So we're going to be doing a whole, 2, 3, whatever shows, whatever amount of shows it takes to cover everything, right?
Right, and to let people see what's going on and get excited about it. And I think you want to get excited about it so you can tell others, because this is something that's free to watch, big concept there, and fun. It's a fun way to look at the Bible, as well as an informational way. Jesus is real, and I love it that these people are real. It's so many people have been touched by it.
Well, Holly, it was exciting having you back today. I don't like being alone anymore. So I'm glad you're.
I love being with you guys.
Thank you, folks. Don't forget, you can write us at faithunfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithunfilmtv@gmail.com, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at faithunfilmtv. Now, we want to actually encourage you to do something else, and that is to go to our YouTube channel.
Please.
And not only watch the shows, but hit that little subscribe button. We really want to try to get that subscription number, that subscription base elevated. So just hit that little subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, right?
Right. Just
Holly?
a finger on the button.
Yep.
That's right. Please do that. We really appreciate it. And again, if you have any questions, comments, if there's anything you want to ask about my tour of the Chosen set, go ahead and email us at faithunfilmtv@gmail.com, right?
faithunfilmtv@gmail.com.
Did I say it right? Yeah.
Good enough.
and ask any questions you want. We love to hear from you guys, and more than happy to answer your questions. So thanks again, Isaac. It's great being back with you.
All righty, folks. See you next week.